Hello everyone and welcome to some footage you've seen before. It's the Alpha at the Nurburgring GP, and as you can guess by the title, this is sort of a little mini review halfway through the season, and of course about the Nurburgring GP and the addition of the tyres, which potentially have a significant impact on this test. So I'm going to show you the first 10 cars we did in terms of bot tests, the different lines they take, and then where the tyres are and the impact they have. So there's tyres on that corner, there's tyres on this corner, and there's significant tyres on this corner. It's all about this corner mainly that I have a problem with. There's also the chicane at the end, but I'm not going to look at the chicane, I'll just talk about that. So as you saw with the Alpha, we ran very wide there, extremely wide, because the MR car could drift. Now with the Aston, as you come through here, it's an FR car. Notice we do straighten up a little bit, but we don't have to, because it's an FR car. The weight is not twitching over the rear end as much, and you're going to see this with the Lexus as well. It's the same sort of thing. Now I have tyres on the right there. I'm not so worried about the tyres there. I'm worried about the tyre on the inside of that corner because I have to turn in later. Again, not hugely significant, but it's here where the significance is, and also the chicane. Now I've had a look at the stop doing Nurburgring non-stop, which I mentioned in the last video, and stop seems to be winning at the moment, so I think that's what I'm going to do. But here's my solution to the problem. As you see, the Audi runs so wide there, but we gain an advantage in my mind. Potentially it should be lower down the timesheets. So here's my idea. We stop doing Nurburgring GP for now. Of course, we've spent 15 hours on it already, so this isn't a decision I'm taking lightly. 15 hours is a lot of work. Is it 15 hours? 5 hours, sorry. 5 hours on Nurburgring already, just on, you know, cars and tests. We take it out, or we stop for now, and do what I was going to do in the long term, which was literally add more tracks as we go. So we finish the test with the 4. We then do our bot changes that we've mentioned we're going to do anyway, to give an indication of where we think the cars should be. We'll add fuel and tyre to the spreadsheets. We'll add everything to it. As you know, Group 3, GT3 class is my favourite class. The mixture of cars, the fact there's no issues with front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive, they're all rear wheel drive. We've just got FR and MR, which is not significant enough to have huge issues. The diverse grids, the look of the cars, all looks mega. I'm focused mainly on Group 3. I will do other groups. Of course, Windfire's done Group 4, so if you haven't checked that out, go to GT Planet. I'll make sure there's a link in the description. The Group 4 test has been done by Windfire, so you can see the differences of the cars there. But we're focused on Group 3. So what I was going to do is, what I'm planning to do now, I think from what people have said, is stop doing Nurburgring for now. So we have 4 tracks. We've got Brands Hatch, Dragon Trail, Interlagos, Suzuka. I will get onto the tyres at Suzuka shortly. We're not sure whether there'll be any other tracks, but potentially there will be. We then finish the test. We try and get our optimised bops, what we think. We then go to Nurburgring. So we come back here. We do the test for all the cars, all 30 cars now, or 31 cars I think we're at, potentially. And then we add all the times in, and then we will have the track information there, but we run to track limits a bit more, especially on that corner, and the chicane as well. I think the chicane has a significant advantage as well, especially for the likes of the Lexus, for example. FR cars can jump that a lot more than MR cars. Now, I've highlighted 4 cars here on the spreadsheet. These 4 cars, 3 of them in red lose out with the taken out of Nurburgring, and these 3 cars are ones I don't run as wide as some of the other cars, so potentially they shouldn't lose out. You've also got the Alpha, which gains because of it, and we saw potentially that shouldn't actually be lowering the times, because we drifted so far out wide with that car with a 4-wheel drift. But you can see the times on the right hand side as well. So the old time, I know it's a bit, the column's a bit weird, but that's because I've hidden some columns just so you can just see the times directly compared. You know, the cars are brought closer together, and I think that's because of the chicane. The chicane has the biggest difference in sector times across all the tracks. I think the first sector is the same for Nurburgring. It's 4 tenths, so the fact that there's 4 tenths different between top and bottom car is significant to me, because there's only 2 corners in that last sector at Nurburgring. And, you know, the first sector is more handling, so the bottom car I expect it to be bottom, while the rest of the cars are mixing it up. I think it's significant enough that we take it out for now, and then we focus on track limits. In terms of the tyres then, because as I say, the tyres have been put in, they're rock solid, you hit them, you crash. Let's have a look at Suzuka, because I did run Suzuka in the manufacturer's top 24, and this is me practicing for it, to show you why Suzuka isn't being taken out, because it's not as significant compared to Nurburgring, where, you know, we're talking a significant change in racing lines, which will then impact on times. You can see there's no tyres at the moment. And I do say, I noticed a suggestion of doing one car and seeing what the difference is, but it doesn't work out like that, because FR you don't have to run as wide as MR cars, and that's significant enough. You can't just take a second off everybody. It is significant enough that to me you would rerun the test, and I want to do it properly. So that's where my mind is at with this. As you can see at the moment, with no significant issues, we're going to come to the first tyre, and the main tyre change in my mind at this track. Tidgney 1 is very scary now with the tyre, but again you can see there no significant impact. You can take the corner as normal. Potentially we might have cut it a bit too much on some cars, but it's not significant enough in my mind. And as you see, we get 19.0, which is where a lot of the cars are anyway, and that's with the tyre. Now the next tyre, believe it or not, is actually at the chicane. So this is why Suzuka I'm not literally taking out. In terms of other tracks, Brands Hatch, where they're going to put it, the only place I can think of is Graham Hill on the exit, but that would be quite crazy to do. Potentially they do that, potentially they don't, we'll see. But again, at Graham Hill you can change your line a little bit, and it has just a minimal impact. It's not a significant impact like at Nurburgring. Dragon Trail, we've got walls either side, they can't put tyres in there. And Interlagos, potentially on the exit of corners or on the inside, but I don't really cut anywhere at Interlagos. Apart from that corner at the top of the hill, actually, I do cut that quite a lot, so potentially that has an impact. But again, that's not significant enough in my mind to cause an issue. As you see at the chicane, they've put them in, but it's not significant enough, whereas at Nürburgring the chicane is tight. It's very tight. But that's what I'm thinking of doing anyway, so Nürburgring is going to stop for now, but we will be bringing it back in more tests in the future. But that's it for now. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. My video playlist is there if you want to watch any of the car profiles. But I will see you at the next car profile, which is going to be the Lamborghini. But 4 tracks, remember, not 5. Do let me know if you've got a problem with this. I'll be happy to reply in the comments. But I'll see you next time.